are live, and we are live at 7 Central up in this bitch. How you guys doing? Welcome to the Piranha Pond StreamCast. I am your illustrious host, Kingfish Mac. Joined today in the pond, as usual, by piranhas. To the right of me, I have the lovely Miss Nick Mo.
Hey everybody, how y'all doing today?
Oh shit, I'm doing good.
Nick, it's good to have you back.
Yes, indeedy.
Here we go. There we go.
And bringing up the rear today, we have my brother from another mother, Mr. Nick Nass. What's going on with you, boy?
What's going on, everybody? Just hanging in there, man. Trying to see who want to drink this piranha water today. Come to the pond and get filled with some nutritional mind thoughts. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm talking about. That is definitely what I am talking about. Yeah, we missed you yesterday, bro. You was in traffic hole. You was high flying on some shit.
I be moving in silence time, man. Moving a little too much, too much. You know what I'm saying? Too fast, and not taking things in. But so what's really going on? I'm saying so. That's what happened when you leave the gate open. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you run too fast and pass up all the good meals. You know. I missed y'all yesterday, man. For the last couple of days, man. You know, I need my fill, man, because this really, you know, this platform is opened up a to stimulate your mind, your body and soul, because you actually sit down and actually take things in and focus on things. So yeah, I'm making a positive change towards that because it needed, you know. So I hope everybody gets to experience something like this. Remember, always it's no losses, it's only lessons, you know. So let's learn. What's up for the day, y'all? How y'all?
What's some of the things you did on your trip? Explain to me yesterday the place you went that had the colorful rocks.
Oh, I don't know. I ended up in the desert somewhere.
No, you was like looked like you was at some kind of beach or something, huh?
No, that was right outside of in between Princeton and St. Mine. It's an art project that Nevada put on. You know, say they call it the Magnificent Seven or the Seven Magnets or whatever it's called. But it's colorful rocks that they structured in the middle of the desert. So if you look straight behind that, it's like another flat, like almost like a soft flat. You know what I'm saying? An empty lake bed, dry lake bed. It's pretty dope though. Yeah. You know, we always pass it up because you know we're trying to go get to you know what I'm saying, the machine stuff like that, but it's some little sites to take in.
So is it any type of like cultural significance of, I mean, like when I see it, it put me like in a frame of Stonehenge. So, and I'm sure it's not Stonehenge, but I'm saying, is it just like cultural art or was it like something like significant with it?
So up a very interesting point because it's a whole board. I took a picture of the board on the information about it.
Okay, right? And actually, I'm pulling up the board right now, so excuse that. Hold on, I'm pulling up the board right now. What it says? What is the Seven Magic Mountain?
What is the Seven Magic Mountains?
It says the Seven Magic Mountain is artwork of thresholds and crossings, of balanced marbles and excessive colors, of casting and gathering, and the contrary air between the desert and the city of light.
Yeah. I ain't never seen that. I've been to 30,000 times.
Yeah, so I just wanted to be a well-rounded thing.
You know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, I do want to more. Let's Google it really quickly.
So I don't know. I'm on this thing. It's embracing like the things that we pass up to get to the fun part, but just actually taking the time. I don't know what kind of transition I'm going through, but I think the woods did it to me. I'm not on no tree hugging shit or nothing, but damn. You know what I'm saying? Just taking in things that, just look at little things, what I'm saying? Put my eyes on stuff.
But I'm glad you got to take that time, and it seemed like it was like a really put together trip. Regardless if y'all just did things in order or y'all just took it by the day. It seemed like y'all took time. Like it didn't seem like it was rushed, because I didn't actually realize that you were away. And so Keith was like, well, yeah, Nick might not come on this day, or he might be late that way, or when you had to find places. I just thought that you lived in the middle of nowhere. I didn't know that you were actually away when we first started the cast. I didn't realize that you were on an adventure when we first started the podcast.
Well, I think both is true. He do live away, and now he's on a trip.
There you go.
Yeah.
You got to fill it to pieces. I don't really tell a lot. I don't even, what I'm saying? I kind of move in silence a little bit. You know what I'm saying? That's the way it goes. But it bites in the butt, though, as we would say. You know what I'm saying? It does, Shell. You know what I'm saying? Because that's like why I used to come to Louisiana. So like, I just pop up. But I be at everybody's house, and I don't sit still. So I'll be driving from New Orleans.
You be at everybody's house for 5 minutes, like that shit fly in our family.
Right.
It don't run in the family. And I'm not trying to rock the boat. It changed nothing. But the thing is, I know I get the side looking like, boy, I tell you what, do you got a fight on this brain or something? Like, what's wrong with that boy? Who raised him?
Don't worry about it. I get the same mean mugs and co-stairs. You ain't got to worry about it.
It feels bad though. I'm trying to tell you, it doesn't feel right. Like I said.
But you know what? People who not in that position don't understand. If you don't consider yourself like a black sheep of the family, then you don't get it. You don't get it. So you don't get it. I know that I am in some cases. So I feel like that. So I get it. So that's why I was like, but if you don't, then you just don't get it, and that's fine, because every family got some.
Yeah.
Every family has people that go against the grain or may not just do things the way that somebody else may do them. I call it being expressive and stuff like that, but that's fine. It doesn't mean that that person doesn't gather with family. It doesn't mean that when they come, you run. I mean, it's just the contrary.
Right.
Usually when I come, people flock. But but I'm just saying, compared to me and my siblings, I know how they look at me. She ain't married, she ain't got no kids, and it's easy to assume things, and stuff like that. It just, you don't, I'm just to say, it's just always easy to assume things. Nobody ever be like.
Yeah, but to see, and then the other part of the thing is, right, that we as a group of people or a group of individuals, right, we are on the search for knowledge inside of us. You know what I'm saying? Like, even like I said, this platform gives us that voice. But when it comes down to it, we all are like-minded. We all championship mindset. So all we want to do is win. Yeah, we want to separate and come back together. Not separate as break a bond, but separate and come together and tell us these experiences that we have in our life, because we know good foundational people that we're going to go other places and leave a positive effect on things, where everybody know your name when you come back in the door. Oh, hell, are you back? Why tick them up? Right. Is it a promise you're going to come back, or is it a threat you're going to come back? I promise I'm going to come back.
Right.
Sylvia said something to me one time that it stuck with me. It was 20 years ago, and I had been gone, and I came back around everybody, and she was telling me, you don't have to feel uncomfortable, right? What you have to understand is us as a family, when you sit at the table for the first time, that's your place. And nobody ain't never going to sit in your place, right? So no matter how many dinners you miss, when your ass show back up to eat, that's your place. And ain't nobody looking at you funny for coming in and enjoying the meal, right? Because that's what we do.
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of hits home because, I give Nick a bunch of flack for shit like just recently, right? He was local, came to town, and the nigga did a drive-by on everybody, right? And I'm on his head like, look, man, people don't appreciate that shit, right? Like, people know you coming, people want to see you, they want you to visit. But then I had to think about it, how hypocritical is it of me? I live an hour and a half away from everybody, right? And I come to, I play poker when the casinos is open. So I'm in LA a couple of times a week. I don't go see nobody, right? But here's the thing. They don't know I'm there either.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? So nobody never get an opportunity to say, yeah, Keith came into town and he ain't come by to see nobody. Me not coming by is kind of regular, right? Even if you hear, oh yeah, well, Keith was over by Felicia's house. Yeah, well, Keith don't really be moving around like that when he comes to town. I do, but not like that, right? But the last thing I'm going to do is go by Auntie May's house, Auntie Mert's house, and be there for 7 minutes talking about I was just in town, I want to say hi. And don't eat, don't drink, don't sit around for no hour. That shit don't play right.
Well, okay, and this is what I'm going to say on that, because I experienced the same thing too at times. I definitely get it and stuff like that. But sometimes, stuff happens. You won't be allowed it the time that you thought you was gonna have, or something come up and you end up too long at one place and not enough at another place. I don't like to put a time on the things that I do when I go somewhere. So, but I've learned, because I know how people can be, I learned to do the same thing too. So, somebody was in town, they was in town, I'm not going to beat them over the head and be like, you didn't come by. I get that. You might have had all the intentions when you took the trip, but it just maybe just you have to give people, because why? Because nobody really wants to feel like they disappointed you. And sometimes people don't understand that they can make you feel like that. So I try not to I try not to do it to other people, because I kind of know how it feels like. And at the same time, I don't want to feel like I'm coming in town and I'm sneaking in town at the same time. And then you find out I'm in town, and then you be like, okay, well, maybe it was the reason I didn't say nothing, because now I'm feeling like this, So sometimes, we just have to, what I say, just, blame it on my mind and not on my heart.
Yeah, I'll show you how hypocritical you can be when you're getting your feelings. Now, all that shit that I just said about how I do shit, right? Mm-hmm. Right, how I'm kind of half-ass standoffish and don't go to people's houses and more shit. Then I got the word a week ago that I got a cousin from New Orleans who lives 30 minutes away from me, right now.
Who that is?
And ain't nobody called and said shit, right? So as soon as I heard that, I felt some kind of fucking way, right?
I would just say this. I ain't
gonna put them out there on the fucking air, Nick. I'll tell you after.
If they 30 minutes from you and they are family, then you should feel a certain kind of way, because there should be no reason why you ain't got a text or something and just say, "Hey, I'm in the area now." We could, we might could hook up at a later time, because you know why? Because nobody wants to get that call or text when they need you.
Right.
And that's just something to think about. So yes, and then you ain't say that they just visiting. You saying that they're actually living there, right?
30 minutes. What I understand,
family do better.
Like you ain't got You ain't got to spend no time with me. I know I look old, right? But I kind of live young, but that's good too. But I'd like you to know that you can call on me. You know what I'm saying? If you ain't out here by your goddamn self, right? You got
exactly. That's
that
all
you got to take no 2 hours to get to you, right?
Right.
And just know that when I come, right?
Mm-hmm.
I come. Right. So
you come through.
You might want to have that number in your Rolodex.
When you come through. Right.
So whenever family member is out there, hey, thank y'all for moving to California. I'm a little bit further than everybody, but that you do have family right around the corner. So either way you go, in between Los Angeles and Barstow, you got a whole McLean clan hanging around there.
Well, I see Duke is watching, so Duke has been talking about coming to California towards you guys. So maybe that's something we really could make happen.
If Duke come to California, Southern California, and don't come see me, I'm gonna treat him like I treat JJ now. JJ done came out here 14 times.
Either one of y'all, okay?
You sure better come see me.
He ain't finna come without seeing y'all. His trip is based around seeing y'all. Like
damn right. That's how I've been thinking about it. If just to kind of let the cat out the bag, we're trying to plan a trip to come down there this summer. I ain't coming down there for no fucking Essence Fest. I'm coming to see y'all. Right. You know what I'm saying? I'm coming to see my people. You know what I'm saying? And what we do when we there, then that's cool, right? Y'all, y'all be knowing all the corners to hit and shit. But I'm not. I cannot envision coming. Look, I can't envision coming from Mardi Gras.
I'm dying to get together with some family. Right.
How do I come from Mardi Gras and don't call my people? Go stay in a hotel or some shit like that. I don't think I'd ever get. Y'all to talk about me for the next 40 years.
I mean, I talk about you because I wouldn't feel like you had that to do. First of all, it's Mardi Gras. I already know the rooms are sky high. Hey, we doing what we used to do. We sleeping on couches. We sleeping on sofas.
I'm about to say.
Air mattresses. I would say sleeping bags, but we got air mattresses. Now we ain't got to be on the floor no more. We got air mattresses.
It is there.
But again, that's what I do. I'm like, you ain't gotta do all that. Because.
Well, how about if I don't go to sleep? I'll be on Buick Street. I'll be at Ronald Mack house. I'll be at everybody's house. I might even out to New Rose. You know what I'm saying? In the middle of all that.
Ronald got the man cave, pool table, and all.
So that's where
I'll be at. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, indeed. I talked. Ronald Mack hit me up this morning, Nick.
Okay, all right. And that's the thing, man.
He said he was gonna try to tune in. I told him to jump in. He said, he don't mind jumping in when he got the time. So, just in case anybody that's out there listening don't know, we can, just bullshit and chopping it up amongst family today because we want to invite the audience, the viewers, our family, friends, all of you guys that's out there in digital land to jump on in the comments. You can come in on the live. I'll send you the link and just ask us anything. We're just in here chopping it up as family and friends. So I told Ronald that anytime he want to come on, I'll send him the link. I really love to have him on there. I think that Ronald could add a whole bunch of beautiful insight, to some shit that maybe we can't touch on the same way that Junibug was able to do when he came on that Friday.
Yeah. And another thing is to offer this platform because people want to come out here and have a voice and share this. So it's open up. But people are sometimes timid. Stop being timid. You know what I'm saying? About putting up makeup if your hair is right, whatever. Come on and give us some other insight like we were talking, because this is what we actually need to build here. And it's like that is your voice. So it's like you said, it's nothing taboo or likewise, but we actually want to build. Because I asked a lot of questions. I had to tone it down a little bit on asking questions a lot because people's like, it'd be like 4 hours. We didn't talk overboard, And lucky I don't have no little hook and nothing, no little drinky drink. So I got to get one of these days. I'm going to sit down to see if I still can be like background music. You know what I'm saying? But I've been trying to get this health together, and get cleared up, and I can indulge with natural birthright, as we say. Get it all.
I like to think of this pod the way that Frank terms it. You know what I'm saying? Of the people, for the people, by the people. You know what I'm saying? That this ain't about us. This don't belong to us. This belongs to all of us. Everybody that, like I always say, we have the ability to bring 10 people in at a time. Now, it'll get kind of crowded in these little squares, but we have the ability to bring you in. And we want to bring people in. We don't want this to just be you guys sitting at home, like you're looking in the window, checking out the conversation between us, because we all know each other, since birth type of shit. You know what I'm saying? We all family. Yeah. So, some of our other family and some of, our friends that might be long distance, the beauty of the digital technology is that we're able to sit down and chop it up as though we all sitting in the living room together, smoking and drinking and doing whatever it is that we do, you know what I'm saying, and just sharing information, because that's what this is all about. It's about networking and sharing information. It's another reason why I kind of encourage people to go on the Facebook page and open up the discussion, man. You guys start talking, chat amongst one another. You don't have to wait for us. The page is always open. You know what I'm saying? If you follow the page, you can jump on and say what you want. Give us suggestions about what you want us to talk about. Suggestions about what you want to talk about if you want to come in and be the guest. So the bottom line is that the channel is interactive. You know what I'm saying? It's not just about us. It's about all of us. So don't be afraid to jump in. Especially Keena. Keena, you be there every day from 5 o'clock till we get off.
I know.
Keena say she facilitates the chat.
She do. She be working it too.
That's her job. She facilitates the chat.
She be certainly working.
So good. And the thing is, right, but you still got and one day we're gonna have a whole introduction. So everybody who's up there, we want you to chime in with introduction. You know what I'm saying? Oh, and if people see your face, whatever, we don't have to work in secret, but I like it because that's what I think society is missing, is the tone and the lack of communication. Not texting, I'm talking about actually talking.
And I like to get like even Maddie, I like to get her in just on her opinion, because Maddie is like very social radical. Like she really, really is, and stuff like that. Like who she can't stand is R. Kelly. You're not gonna talk about R. Kelly in her presence. That's not what she about. Like, we got more of the relationship, so like we can separate the man from the music. Maddie ain't trying to hear it. Don't even you can't even play it. You can't even play it when she around her. But I had to say is that she stands on her word, and so it'd be interesting to see her, because I know her, and I hear her all the time, in the background. But I like to get her just to get like that standpoint, because she's about to be a senior. She's about to graduate and go to college. She got a lot of intel about just how she sees the world, how she sees viewing, being Black, being a female, being smart, because she is. Got a 26 in math on her ACT in the 10th grade. Come on now. That's borderline genius.
Oh, yeah.
So, but it seems like mathematicians work go in our family. So.
Her and Kimari would be, her and Kimari would have some real interesting conversations. They would battle first because he think he know everything.
Frank, go ahead.
Yeah, I was about to say Frank is in traffic and can't connect and drive at the same time. So he might pop in. If not, he's here in spirit, and I know he's listening because I just shared the cast on his page.
Now I want to say this. I heard not too long ago on the day they must be applying that pressure in Ohio, because that cop, they charged her with second-degree manslaughter. I mean, I didn't even know if they was going to charge her, but it looked like this is the beginning of the process. So I'm glad somebody saw that wasn't right.
So bring me up to speed, since I haven't been in the know. Now, what happened with this lady?
This is in reference to the 15-year-old. Her name was was it Michaela? I have to look at the name again. But
Michaela Bryant.
At the same time, they was reading they had literally just read the verdict for George Floyd, sorry. This baby was getting killed in Ohio. This was the scenario. She called the cops. Some kind of way when the cops got there. 16 years old. She was chasing some other girls. She had a knife in her hand. Now, we don't know why she called the cops. Obviously, she called the cops for some type of reason. We don't know. I'm going to assume there was some type of bullying or something involved. But again, we don't know all the particulars yet. But the cop came on the scene and shot her 4 times in the chest. And now she dead. And she's 16 years old.
Wow. Like that.
So
at the verdict was one cop going to jail, and the other one showed up and just blah, blah, blah.
And I still hold firm on what I said in reference to the situation.
Tell them about the other part,
we were talking yesterday in reference to like what's going on with the training. Like, why can't we, why are we shooting to kill and not to subdue? Because again, at the end of the day, no matter how you justify it, a 16-year-old child is dead. And if you can shoot somebody actually 4 times in their chest, then that tells me you could have shot in the arm, you could have shot her in the leg, you could have done something else besides shoot her. And then, so you shot her. But then you shot her 3 more times in her chest. Like, you guaranteed that this baby was not going to wake up.
It was a trip. I was watching on the Ricky Smiley morning show this morning, right? They had that one police that be on the first 48 all the time that looked like his name is Anderson too. He looked like the boy out of Compton that do the comedy. Anyway, old boy was on there. The police was trying to explain the split-second decision making, this, that, and the third. Basically, he was just justifying the shoot. And Ricky Smiley was like, "Yeah, okay, I understand what you're saying. He's giving us some insight." Then he doubled back. Ricky Smiley did. An hour later, 2 hours later, and on his live, he said, "Man, I had to start thinking about, all the if, would, could have beens. But my question is, you arrest all these other motherfuckers." And then he started going through all the points that we made yesterday, Shell. I'm talking about point by point by point. You know what I'm saying? About us not being able to be arrested, not getting due process. The police already having the mentality that, to go on the attack. You know what I'm saying? The whole 9 yards. And again, it's just, you hear all, this morning, Nick, you had a lot of different celebrities, fucking Aries Spears of all people and shit, right? Come out and try to talk about the justification of what if that was your daughter who was about to be stabbed, and what would you have rather done, and just all these different what if scenarios. But none of these scenarios take into account what Shell and I were talking about yesterday, which was, where the fuck does the training come in? They don't ever,
and this is the thing, right?
They don't ever employ the lower levels of training. It's never the escalated, you know what I'm saying, shows of force. It's always go right to 10.
And I want to go on point with saying that I'm not just blaming the police in that matter. There were adults out there that did nothing. They should feel a certain kind of way. If you didn't want the cops called, then y'all should have split it up.
So this is the thing. So I'm about to go deeper.
Y'all know they killed enough, but y'all still didn't like. Officer, we don't need you. We good. We got this. We got their children. We know these kids. We're gonna break it up. They didn't. That's why that baby did. Because the adults out there did nothing.
Probably egging this shit on. Get her.
They did nothing. So the adults out there, to me, they should be charged with neglect.
Hold on 1 second. I'm switching these headphones on because I'm about to go in. So I'm gonna make
now before I put these other headphones.
They should be brought up on charges too. They did nothing.
So I'm about to go in. I'm gonna put a disclaimer on before I go in. Right. So we're about to get down to how I feel about it because I have a little insight.
I care about. Hold on, no. I care that the other lady may have been stabbed. I'm just saying that we don't know what happened before that.
Okay.
Because do we know if bullying was involved? we don't. Unfortunately, we don't know everything that went on with that. Because something provoked this young lady to run behind them with a knife. I don't know. It seems like this young lady was the one who called the cops. I would have to probably go with that something was going on with her before that if she was the one who called the cops.
So I'm about to
give a shit I give a shit that she was about to stab another child. But what I'm saying is that there were adults there that could have broken that up. And the cops
didn't have never got to the stabbing part.
Yeah.
So
the thing is,
if anything, if it could have just been broken up, it could have just been broken up. No, I didn't want her to stab another child, but I feel like the cop could have shot her in the leg, shot her in the shoulder, or something like that. They could have subdued her.
So the thing is, right? So
other babies have to deal with the fact that ultimately they probably got this child killed. Whatever happened before that, the end game probably wasn't that this girl not going to school with us no more, because none of that matters now.
Right.
Yeah. So the thing is, like I said, that let's get down to the meat and potatoes of this whole thing, right? Now you got people that work in prison every day that could fall victim to a knife stabbing. So how you tell me that a police officer who has everything on him to protect him, pepper spray, taser, bulletproof vest, nice sticking vest, level 3A, so on and forth on, right? But you show up to a person, to a scene where it's ladies, not no men. Let's get that covered, right? That a little girl could actually approach you. You had enough of hand-to-hand combat, plus you got the whole arsenal, everything, a metal baton, a wand. You know, if you hit somebody with one of those metal wands, it's gonna knock the knife out their hand. But the first thing you do is resort to violence. And if you pull your gun out, right? You're pulling your gun out, it's a threat for your life. That person probably didn't even know that the police officer was there and hear anything, hair pulled or whatever. So if the scene is tumultuous, right? Wait for backup, let somebody get stabbed, you call for medical aid. Now, that's what I was saying the other day, right? It all comes to a head. Well, we said the elevator thing between the girl and the dude. If you was there breaking it up, he would have had a knife or pushing her out the way, a slunger, and he would have had a bat in his hand. That's considered a dangerous weapon, so somebody could have dumped him out, right? Now, to say all that is, so what's the difference between an officer on the street that's breaking up a fight and the CO that's in prison where everybody might have a homemade knife? You're gonna get stitches, whatever, hit a vein, but half of the time nobody know where to stab a person in to get a blow in the main artery. Other than that, how big is the knife? This police officer had to do all that, but you're right,
like
Shell. The first knife. Okay, and but still.
Nick, the killing part about this is that from the video, from my perspective of the video, it wasn't like she didn't go at the cops where the cops didn't feel threatened for his life. Because I feel like if a cop is going to shoot you, they feel threatened for their life.
That's what I'm saying. Not
she
because
was really running behind another kid, and I'm not taking that away that she was running behind the other kid with a knife. But again, the cop was in a better situation to, again, the warning shot. Again, maybe grazed her shoulder. She was 16 years old. What can she have really? If he would have fired shots in the air, they all probably would have just dispersed.
Shell, they look at us as monsters, right? Let's just get down to, like I said, to the day. They look at us as monsters.
You believe no. Let's get back to this comment. You believe it was justified?
No, it's not justified at all because
a 16-year-old girl, a 16-year-old child is dead. You have no 16-year-old nieces that got into it. You went to school with people. You didn't get into it with people when you were 16 years old. I just need to know how you feel like that was justified. The cop wasn't even being threatened. I just maybe we can go on the record and say you felt like that if she would have lunged at the cop and he didn't make a split-minute decision. He was able to do more of assessing than the parents did.
Yeah,
that were out there. And again, I still blame them. No, it's not justified. No matter how you try to say it, I'm sorry about that. Yeah, this is the open forum, but that's not justified.
No, hell no.
That's not justified. I got a 16-year-old niece, and if she was being bullied enough to where she felt like she needed to do that, then I just feel like a cop that comes on the scene
should be able to diffuse the situation, right?
Shouldn't kill her.
Nick, she ain't talking about you. She responded to the comment.
Me because I have a
16-year-old in the comment.
Yeah, because as we know, right, that a police officer cannot save nobody's life when their life in danger, right? Like if you were, like if I was over somebody, and I was like going to the motion of stabbing them for a death blow, and they said it's gonna take life, I still got to go to court. It is what it is. I already provoked violence, right? So the thing is, it's like, okay, I'm gonna tase you, or whatever I need to do. Or the thing, I was like, oh, all right, you already in the commission of creating murder, right? I can't murder you and say you justify for stopping the murder because you never know if this person's gonna survive or not. You know what I'm saying? And no, you can't do warning shots or whatever, right? But I know for a fact, right, in police training, a knife is the less lethalest thing unless you was trained with a knife to go for a jugular or whatever. It ain't no accidental stabbing. It's up close and personal. If you gonna get that up close, but police officer, you got a vest, you got pepper spray, you got a wand, a metal wand, a billy club, and to say that it's a young person, especially a young lady, right, or any young person, nobody has really been formally trained with a knife to say that if they get close to me, they're gonna kill me, right? Like I said, it's people in the penitentiary every day. COs, that's a police officer, that deal with knives on a daily basis, slashing tools, whatever. Do they have a gun for a juvenile that's in juvenile hall and shoot them if they get into slashes to another person in the hallway? You know what I'm saying?
I can't see how this is different from Dante. And I'm gonna need the police officer and a police chief to render their resignation because obviously you're not training them well.
You know what I'm saying? Because the thing is,
I need their resignation too. He wanted to jump on camera and get in front of it yesterday and talk about we normally don't release this much information this quickly, but we felt like people wanted to know. I feel like if you're gonna charge that cop with manslaughter, second degree, go ahead and give me the resignation. Go ahead and fire him. Go ahead and give me yours too. It starts with you on down. You're not training your people. They make the split decisions to kill children.
But you know what? It seems like they're doing policing real good right now. All the stuff that they planned from the 80s is turning out just fine, right? They're actually looking for crimes to prosecute people and to kill people with. We want to be in the house. We want to be behind closed doors.
I would have respected the taser attempt. Okay, hold on. Let me just break. Hold on. Let me just break this down. I'm just trying to see how you can actually defend it. He didn't shoot her one time in the chest. He unloaded 4 in her chest. I don't think it took 4. 4 guaranteed that child was never going to get up again.
Oh yeah.
One if you was gonna shoot her one time.
That stopped the threat.
She was a 16-year-old child. She wasn't George Floyd, who was a grown man who probably could say, I might need to shoot him more than once because one bullet might not have taken him down.
Wow.
So that's
the point I have a problem with. It wasn't the fact that he was maybe trying to help the other child. It was that, did he have to kill her? 4 shots directly in the chest is pretty, and it was accurate. You shot her 4 times in the chest. You could accurately shoot me 4 times in the chest, then I feel like you could accurately shot at her leg, shot at her hand, shot at her shoulder. It could have been something different.
So
I know you don't need no disrespect, but justify 4 shots in the chest. I just need that justified because it was 4.
For a knife.
Okay, check. Here,
it was 4 shots in the chest for a knife.
Let me say this, right? So got it there is no disrespect received, none of that, right? We all in the conversation, right? And this is what we kind of encourage. However, what I will say is we did a whole show on this yesterday, right? Where Nick Moe was very, very clear about what her position was, right? And I was too. And So what my position was and is today is this, and this is kind of like touching on what Nick Nass was talking about too, right? Is that in every other scenario that you can imagine, right, that doesn't involve an unknown cop encountering an unknown Black person on the street in an open environment, right? So in every other situation, in prison, in a mental institution, dealing with mental health care people, if we're dealing with unruly kids at school, or a kid got, a fucking knife at school, or, whatever, right? We all have, in each one of those scenarios, there is somebody who is trained to deal with that type of scenario. And that training includes an aggregated amount of force, right? So use this force, then use this force, then use this force, then use this force. What we're saying is that when Black folks are coming into contact with the police, there is no aggregated amount of force utilized. So when you say, okay, well, would you have rather the other kid get stabbed, right? What we're saying is no, right? But what we would have rather is that the police use some other form, right? You say, okay, well, he would have had to put his weapon back in his holster and then pull the taser. My question is, why is your weapon pulled?
There you go.
Why did you get out of the car, walk across the street, and pull your gun? Why not your billy club? Why not your taser? It was teenage girls fighting. You didn't assess a situation that you thought was going to be life-threatening until you were 4 feet away. You know what I'm saying? There had already been a scuffle that you didn't intervene in as a police officer, right? And this girl who was probably getting her ass whooped by 3 or 4 other little girls with their mamas and some more fucking people out there, right?
Yeah.
Felt like she didn't have, what? My question is, what do you do? What if it's your daughter who has a knife and there ain't no police, right?
There you go.
Because she couldn't see the police. The police was behind her. So we're gonna say there ain't no police, right? In the mind of your daughter. But she getting fucked up by 3, 4 girls and their mamas and some more shit in front of her house or wherever on her block. They came to get with you. What would you expect your daughter to have done? Take those
defend
blows.
herself.
She's not thinking about whether or not she gonna get shot, you know what I'm saying, from the police who was behind her, and for him to be able to have shot her in the torso, it tells me that she turned around. He didn't shoot her in the back.
This is a sad situation because the person that actually called the cops is the person that's actually dead.
So
at some point, she did the right thing. She called the cops. At some point, she had feared for her life in some type of way because she called the cops.
So now I'm getting I'm getting focused on what it is. So she called the cops because she was being threatened, right? So to tell me that the first thing as a 60-year-old person, whether she had a bat in her hand, whether she had a pepper spray, whether she had a broken glass bottle, this cop showed up and he's the equal in force. He's the level out person, right? So him to show up to level out the situation and murder somebody and not even know, it's like, wait till everybody get up, because as we know, right, if it was a scene that was messed up, they would have let it all played out. Whoever got stabbed, whoever got shot, played out. They would have went and made sure the rest of the public was safe, right? But he showed up and said, it's maniac people over here. So if more than one person had a knife, so he would have shot everybody when he ran out of bullets, dumping on everybody at the day. You know what I'm saying? What if he seen a gun in somebody's waistband? He would have felt threatened. He showed up, and all the idea is a violent situation going on, and I'm gonna murder somebody. That's all I'm thinking right now. And it happened to be a 60-year-old girl.
As much contempt that I have for this cop, I have even more disgust for the adults there that allowed the child to be killed. Because like they did nothing. Because from what I saw on the tape, they did nothing to stop that. So I'm mad that a cop showed up and he killed another Black person, and now we have a 16-year-old child dead. When I felt like he might have could have exercised something different. I'm not saying not defend the other child, but I felt like something else could have been done besides just shoot her 4 times in the chest. And was it overkill? That was definitely overkill. But my disgust is more with the adults that were standing by allowing that to happen. Because if they wasn't trying to fight it, then that lets me know that, like he said, they were in on it.
So and that's the thing that
the girl that she was going to stab actually came over to her house.
Well, how we know she was going to even stab?
So that tells it. So you felt that, like, you came to my house with the drama.
Yeah. And normally,
no, I'm not saying that another child should be trying to stab another child, but again, she came over to her house. What was it? What was it about? Period. You came to the girl house.
So this is the thing,
you came to her house, and she felt threatened enough to call the cops. I'm just saying that the means doesn't justify it doesn't justify anything.
So Nick,
all these children have to deal with the fact that, because no matter what the situation is,
she got murdered in front of their face.
Right.
I don't think that. So guess what? So now whatever they went to her house for, regardless if it was to talk about her, whip her ass, or whatever they had planned on doing, now they have to live with the fact that they got that girl killed.
So they militarized the police. I'm saying the police. Now this is the thing, right?
I'm mad that the adults didn't stop it. Yeah, from what I see on the tape, they were standing around.
But the thing is, right? If one of them would have got killed too, but the police. And look, Nick. Look.
I still feel like one shot could have been.
The thing is, right? We know it now. When you call the police these days, right? The shit is so dysfunctional that it could be a 90-year-old person trying to keep somebody out of their house, their grandson or their grandson's friend, from taking their purse. She got a knife in her hand. They would shoot her 4 times in the chest. These motherfuckers are out just to kill people. You know what I'm saying? Because they want to make it home. I said this a couple of episodes ago, right? And the thing is, I don't even want to say I'm embarrassed from having this training, right? But I understand because of the language and how, you know, not saying certain individuals, right? But actually how it actually went. I'm gonna tell you one thing, right? That all these people that come from different places, you know, high risk areas, the police has done such a good job. Now hear me clear, that they then made it where they go out and look for things to get validated on. They are actually, from a traffic stop to putting out your gun on any traffic stop, it's a nationwide problem, right? These people saying that the gun is justified. When we had guns to justify stuff, they said we was lawless bandits, right? When we took care of stuff in the hood or in our community and or just watching or and walking around and saying, I'm gonna have a neighborhood watch with my shotgun, with my mama, with my daughter, with my grandpa and everything, we was considered we taking over the city. We extorting people, right? But these police show up on anything. The front door could be open. You could actually slam a cop's trigger finger. He felt like he was about to get killed by the door. He was going to trap in the door, so he shot through the iron door and killed you. You know what I'm saying? That goes. These motherfuckers walking around a dark house. They see somebody in the window. I remember the one story. The girl was playing video games with somebody in Texas. Her nephew or something babysitting. She walked to the room. The child said he heard something strange, and the police shot her to the window in her own bedroom. Talking about he seen her with a gun. She wasn't pointing at him, so he just seen the gun. So that's what I'm saying, Shell. That.
So let me ask this question.
Well, let me address this.
A girl and adult come over to another girl's house. This girl calls the cops. So obviously she felt threatened. I guess we'll never know if it was self-defense. And if it was self-defense, because it seems like those factors are lining up, now the person that was getting attacked is dead.
Right. And so that's kind of what I was going to say, right? You know, to address, I'm not encouraged.
We'll never know who the enemy is. That's what I'm saying. It seems like from what we are being told that this girl went over to her house, and then the girl whose house she went to, she called the cops. I would have to say that the girl who came to her house was the aggressor. And if she came there and she threatened bodily harm, then she was within her right. She was on her property. She was in her right to get a knife if she was being threatened. But we'll never know that now.
So first thing is, I'm not encouraging my kids to yield knives. What I was addressing was this what if ism, right? About what if the other girl was your daughter? What would you have wanted the police to do? And what I was saying is, what if the girl with the knife was your daughter and had no idea about the police behind her and was getting her ass whooped by 3-4 girls who showed up right outside your house? What would you want your daughter to do? It's not about whether or not I'm justifying her wielding a knife. Now, what I would want my daughter to do is make it back home.
Yep.
At any cost. At any fucking cost, man. So if that means that she got to whip out her fucking switchblade and get these little bitches up off of her, do that. Now, that's not an encouragement. That's an admonition.
It's just self-defense.
You feel what I'm saying? Because I'm not so far removed from streets, from being 16 years old, right, that I don't know how funky it can get for a 16-year-old that's, you know, some girls that showed up at her fucking house, you know, to take off on her about whatever social media shit or whatever the fuck is going on, right? So that's not the issue, right? The issue again is whether or not there's an elevated use of force that is needed to be employed when it comes down to our people, because we do see this graduated use of force being used with other people in other communities. And so it serves no purpose whatsoever to give any kind of justification to what happened, or, you know, to find a good reason, right?
It's no good
and
reason.
I'm finding a hard time
because I believe
trying to find the justification in it when he made the statement.
Because I believe
Blue Lives Matter.
I believe that an excuse is a good reason for not doing what you're supposed to do. Period. Right?
That's it.
So you don't need to have no good reason for not doing what you were supposed to do. You should just do what the fuck you're supposed to do. Period. It's what the training is there for. And if you're not duly trained to deal with these type of situations, don't take the goddamn check.
There you go.
It's just that simple.
That's what I was getting to. Because the thing is, you could have said to stop. It was nowhere in the world that this girl, being 16-year-old, had any formal training on, you know what I'm saying, that she's a ninja or something, that she's going to cut everybody's head off with this little fucking steak knife that's dull and shit like that. And it's the thing, it's like, hey, stop. Be assertive with your voice. That's what you have to start with, communication. You know what I'm saying? Hey, stop. But when you go up in there and you hear things, but in the heat of the moment, it's like, okay, what the adults would be like, hey, this girl, whatever. But now, like I said, this cop was so aware and focused on the object, not the person. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
All he said was knife. I'm dead. Because anybody else in that situation could have just shot him while whatever, right? That, you know what I'm saying? If you actually think about it, he had tunnel vision on the knife. Not the person that was wielding or whatever, but stop the threat. If she wasn't a threat, if he would have actually had the information over the computer or whatever. Now, is all this on video?
Yeah.
Shell?
I want to know why when he shot it, he had to say, now Blue Lives Matter. Right. Because that's making it hard for me.
Shit.
That right there is making me feel like it was. I mean, that's just adding salt on top of a bad situation. So I think when you make that comment, go to court and get them for all you can now, because I feel like now everything you did before that doesn't make sense now. Oh, I'm sorry, it makes more sense now. And now it seems like you just want to kill somebody. Because the verdict had just came out in another case. It was simultaneously the same time that was going on. So for you to shoot that baby and then turn around and say, nah, Blue Lives Matter, she had nothing to do with anything that was going on in the world.
And she probably,
so if you make that comment, shame on you for making it, and if you shot or made it, then that makes it seem like it was racially motivated.
But the thing is, she didn't even come to him and slash him or nothing. So I need to see, and that's why I need to get up on this, because I'm like I said, I haven't watched none of this stuff. So
he's gonna send you the tape.
You know what I'm saying? And I think it's a discussion, because so and this is the one thing, right? if you got a whole group of people, so you show up in a, let's say, an urban setting, right? And you are this, but for what you just said right there, talk about Blue Lives Matter on some for real shit. That he was already itching for the scratch, right? He was already got that. He probably had cocaine in his system, hyped up, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh shit, you know, he's already ready for a riot already, right? Oh, it's not going down, because he was ready for, if he was found innocent, that it was going to turn up in his city. So he was already amped up. But he came across a 60-year-old girl, right, that had a knife, that was getting into a fight in the community, but sound like, right, that whatever it was, it seemed like it's a everyday occurrence that goes on in the hood, shell, right? That, you know, people standing around. So no men around, right? These girls are fighting. There's no brothers getting down there. There's no men involved. It's all ladies. I don't know what the scenario is. I'm just guesstimate, right? So it's like, okay, let me shoot you that.
Well, it appears to be a woman and a man on the tape or something like that. But yeah,
but I'm saying the thing is, if this girl all alone, she called the cops, and these people's like, the mom and daddy, the uncle's like, shoot her the fair one, right? Catch this fade, right? You know how many times I had to catch a fade with everybody out there? And you know what I'm saying? And nobody gonna pack me out, because like you said, I'm gonna make it home safe. So whatever I had to do. But I didn't see situations where people just got a broken bat or so. Oh, that's a stabbing object. It got freaking pepper sprayed, a tase, a beat down, or a shot. You know what I'm saying? He was coming at me with a box cutter or a gardening shears. I'm like, wow, for real? I'm out here cutting along. You ask me what I'm doing. This dude trying to fight me, but I got the garden tool in my hand, and so it's a murder weapon. You know what I'm saying? So that is the part where we were saying the other day is, when do we stop getting murdered because we try to think the thing that's protecting us is actually going to save us, when they out to say that, you know what, we are so bored right now, we killing people on traffic stops. I'm saying, can y'all actually see the underlying shit, right? Running the stop sign. Oh, your license plate don't look clear in the window. So what, the dealership, they changed the whole thing. Dealership has to put a neon fucking flashing light where the police get behind you on black light to see your shit. You know what I'm saying? So what does it go to? You know what I'm saying?
So
how far is it go?
Because you said that comment, I'm just trying to see how you still stand on that it was justified that child getting killed. You saw it was multiple stuff. You saw the tape. You saw it was multiple stuff at play. You ain't say nothing about the parents until we said something about the parents. Now you saying that there was a man on tape that was kicking one of the other ladies. But that wasn't your standpoint when you said that it was justified with that child being killed. If the adults, and that's what I'm saying, that my disgust was is more for the adults out there, because, and that's why they should have been charged. Whoever was kicking the other young lady that was on the ground, they should be charged. So those adults there didn't come there to play by the rules. They didn't come there to break up a fight, and that's why a 16-year-old child is dead.
So I can't see the comments. So where y'all see the comments at? Who's making a comment? Who's the person making a comment? Who?
Daymar.
Can you see him now?
Okay, all right. Now, so let me say this to Mr. Daymar, right? That whatever it is, right? If you ever find yourself in a situation, right, and it happened to you in real life, right, that would you be saying the same thing? And it's like, that's the emotional toll that it takes. So whatever happened to you, where you saying that whatever the outcome is a person is dead for, you know what I'm saying, the gross negligence of a police officer in a situational thing. Now, if you can never get your head, we could talk all day till we blue in the face. The thing is, this girl is dead. The outcome is she's dead. So no matter how much she had a knife, she had it in the bra, she had it in the drawers, it fell out of her sock, she bent down to pick it up, and I shot her 4 times. It doesn't fucking matter. She's dead. By a police officer that should have better training, period. Right? So the thing is, until you educate yourself on some other stuff.
See, this is why we can come together as a community right now. And Daymar, thank you. I do welcome the dialogue, because why? Because we need more dialogue. Just like, I need to know that people like you who think that.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And bless your heart, man. He's trying.
I need to know that. That tells me that you're a sideline person. You're going to stand on the sidelines, and you're going to watch these kids fight. You're not going to try to break it up.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? And that's the part,
and right? I need to know that there's people out there that's not going to be looking out for my baby like that. because you're not looking out. You're looking out for one of the young ladies, but the point of it is that it's the whole scenario as a whole. I mean, it's jacked up that the person called the cops, who
we gotta all be a village. We gotta all take care of all the kids.
Dead.
Yeah.
The one who called the cops is dead.
So look, so Shell. So
I
how
have
about
to believe
this?
there was some type of self-defense in there, some type of way. And if the adults wasn't trying to break it up, they was part of it.
So
she
Shell,
should have been lunging at the adult, it seems like.
So Shell, how about this? What we said the other day, I could stop a fight with my words. I could say, "You okay right now? What the fuck is going on over here?" You know what I'm saying? Y'all stall that shit out. And nigga, like, I done got socked in the face, nigga socked in the chest, and I'm like, we don't really want to go there, right? So that is the thing. If we don't all come together and say, look, if we don't police ourselves, we're not going around here shooting ourselves. You know what I'm saying? We're not showing up and jumping out the car and say that I'm dumping on somebody and I don't even know who is the thing behind the problem.
My thing is this, right? My thing is this, and this is to go directly to what my man is, what he's trying to say. So I'm the cop, right? I drive up on the scene. I know where I'm going, right? I know it's a disturbance, we'll fight, whatever, right? I know what neighborhood it is. So I know what people I'm going to be dealing with, right? As a cop, depending on my mentality, right, I'm going to do one of two things. When I roll up and see this crowd of teenagers in an agitated state and determine that I need to take control of the situation. Mind you, I don't see no knife. This is just me just rolling up. K-Mac, the cop, is going to say, all right, let me pull my taser out or my billy club in case I need to disperse some of these fucking kids that seem to be wilding the fuck out. So upon approaching the scenario, my mentality is already going to be taser. But if I'm Johnny, the fucking Johnny Lawman, and I think of these people as animals that I need to go tame, animals that can be disruptive and somehow dangerous to me and my partner, because I don't give three shits about them being dangerous to each other. Let's get that straight. Let's get that out the fucking way, right? Ain't no such thing as protecting the other girl. You wasn't protecting the other girl. You saw a fucking opportunity. Period.
There you go.
Period. And for any of us, right, as tragic as the scenario is, as unfortunate as the chain of events may have been, and with us putting whatever blame or fault wherever it may truly lie, the fact still remains that there is a young black girl dead at the hands of the police that didn't have to. Like, if you ask yourself all of the various scenarios that could have transpired in that situation, how many of them end in the girl being dead? And if that's the choice that you're choosing as the best alternative for our community, then I'm gonna have a problem with that, bruh. I gotta have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with you having that opinion. I got a problem with the fucking opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Period.
Yeah. Because I could do the same thing. I could have jumped out and said, oh, you got to, but would it have been justified for me? You know what I'm saying? Because we govern ourselves.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, I'm going to protect.
Hold on. Safe, and I'm breaking it down frame by frame. So there was a unit pulled up. There was two cops that got out. At that time, it was just a fight. And then those cops were close enough to grab her arm. But the killing part about it is that before that got that deadly, I'm sorry, the person who seemed like they should have been caught who should have been shot was the adult that was kicking the other girl.
So they were kicking the minor?
So we kicking the minor? Clean past that. Then another cop came up on this. Then another car pulled up. But the initial cops that pulled up, they got close to the situation. They were actually there to grab her.
They was there at the rumble. They was there at the rumble.
They were there before it turned into a rumble. Looked like they were coming from out the back somewhere. They were walking up at the same time, and then it turned ugly. But they were close enough to grab them. But
Talking
in the midst
somebody,
of,
something, I don't know
that
shit.
happening, then a man, besides a man, commits a kicking a child.
Wow.
So
But then
how he didn't get shot?
And she was a minor, right? So look, the thing is, right? So
Sweet
this
looking
guy
little
just
girl too, Nick.
So
They released their TikTok and shit this morning, man. She's a kid, man. She's a fucking kid, man.
So
like
the
a
kid.
Right? Not like no grown ass badass kid smoking weed, breaking in your car kid. Nah, man, she was a kid.
Yeah, and that's the sad part, man, right? That people that know how people look at it, right? It's like in a weird kind of way, it's like, well, that didn't happen to my daughter because my daughter wouldn't have been out there, right? But I know for a fact, man, that no knife is gonna
My daughter would. I ain't gonna even bullshit.
Yeah, but no, I'm saying
what the fuck shit.
Well, yeah, I know, man. I'm not trying to put it out there like that. You know what I'm saying? I gotta hold some kind of integrity. You know what I'm saying? Because the people around us, we, you know what I'm saying, that the young men and young ladies say that it comes with a great stand of protecting yourself and living for another day. Because, you know what I'm saying, if my daddy and my uncle Nick Nass see some shit going on, you know what I'm saying, for a while, it wouldn't even been we would have pulled up like that.
Already.
You know what I'm saying? But I know I'm gonna go.
Hey, you know what? You know what, Nick? That's a good question. Or a good question popped in my mind. Do we, and I know I'm guilty of this, man, because my kids is roguish as shit. Do we teach our kids to confront conflict head on, as opposed to teaching them how to manage the situation? Because look, at 16, I'm fighting everybody. I don't give a fuck who you are, bigger than me, literally. You say some slick shit, we getting down. And there's people that's watching, people, you know what I'm saying, that know me from way back then, that know I was with the business. At 56, I'm more apt to try to talk you out of it, unless you just happen to catch me when I'm transporting this motherfucking piece of iron, and then I'm, you know, my understanding be half-ass zero any fucking way. My point being, right?
Yeah.
Do we teach our kids that shit? You know what I'm saying? Or are our kids more apt to negotiate their way out of shit? Well,
so the thing is, right? You said you hit the nail on the head, right? That we say you got to work with the situations that's work. You got to pick your battles. We can't fight everything, man. You know what I'm saying? Now it's a kind of time is I know if I can't talk it out and it gets too much pressure, I'm gonna have to call my uncle. I'm gonna have to call my auntie, right? But you best believe at our age, we're not with that loud talking and berating and stuff like that. We're gonna be like, what is the issue? Like, what did it have to come to? You know what I'm saying? Right. And nobody.
Where to go? Because we can both catch a bad break today, partner.
Yeah, right? You know what I'm saying? But the thing is, when it comes down to it, like you said, it's all over words. It's all over this TikTok. It's all over this fit there. You know what I'm saying? And you know what I'm saying? People forget. Look, so the thing is, look, and what you said, right? Nothing's never justified, right? Because we don't have that individual don't have the thing on saying it's justified until they end up in court. You know what I'm saying? When you end up in court, it's a whole different thing. It's all kind of other rules, like penal codes and stuff. You're like, well, I thought it was just gonna be cut and dry. No, it's a moral responsibility, you know what I'm saying, to do this. So our thing is, you can try to beat us over the head with, you know what I'm saying, on justification, but we don't have that's like, we don't have a thing. Now it's an example that we get past this and move past it, but it hurts like hell. I'm actually hurt by hearing this news. It's like wrenching my heart because I wish I was more aware of it, but do I want to be aware of it? Because I have a whole different view that people won't understand. I can't even find the words. I'm trying to find the words right now. All I can say is, like, you know what? Like, police officers, get your shit together. This dude just got convicted of whatever it is. So, yeah, it's a monumental moment, right? But I would have said, as a man, knowing I did something that was wrong, I would have said, look, people, before I go off and to come to the sentence phase, I apologize. I know that I didn't think that I was wrong at the time, but I killed this man. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to go do my time. I'm going to stand up and say, I'm just not going to look. Heartbeat like Sasquatch. Boom, boom. He just looking like it's numbing his fucking whole body, right? I actually seen that shit, right? So it didn't affect him, right? But we could say one thing, but right after that, this agent for the other side killed this young girl,
right,
for a fucking knife.
So let me answer both of Damar's questions right quick, right? So you say, do I teach my kids the same? So the answer to that is, it was kind of the question that I asked, but I answered myself in my head, right? And my answer is that because of who I am, my kids grew up knowing about me and who I am in the streets. So they grew up in the shadow of K-Mac, right? And that's a lot of pressure on a kid, you know what I'm saying? Because of, the standard that I set, just living my life, not trying to be no tough motherfucker, nothing like that, but just in, as a natural course of the life that I chose. So while I tried to provide for my kids to not have to take the same roads, I think that what they saw is who I am. And so as a kid, especially boys, you don't ever want your dad to think hook. You know what I'm saying? So my boys fight like a motherfucker, right? They ain't turning down no fades, nowhere, never. And it's not because I tell them take off on first right, don't let nobody. Nah, it's just what they see and that inherent pressure that comes with it.
The natural order things.
My daughter, right? My daughter is a piece of work because my daughter is like my favorite son, right? She is me.
All of you.
Period. Right? She's me. Like the shit that she does is shit that I would do. Wrong as fuck, right? Impulsive, you know what I'm saying? Little man, little girl complex, all that shit. So when you ask me, do I tell my daughter to get a knife? The answer is I would have to tell my daughter not to get the knife.
Get the knife. Or the pistol or anything else. Period.
Because that's just what she's on. Now, is that my fault? Of course. Of course. You know what I'm saying? Because she emulates what she's seen growing up. You know what I'm saying? She emulates what she sees as being the dominant characteristics. I don't take no shit. You ain't going to push me around at whatever cost, right? Like, I'll go lay down for some years because you ain't going to push me around. I'll cut off my nose to spite my face. This is who my daughter is because this is who I have been, right? Is it right or wrong?
But
do I wish that she was much more able to communicate her way out of shit? Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. You wish that for anybody that you love because you don't want. See, and the cold thing about it is us that, come from ghetto environments, we kind of live with this rah-rah shit, right? So it's just really about bravado. Even when you're talking about your kids, you hear it in my voice. My kids don't take no shit. My kids take off. My kids fight hard as a motherfucker. But is that really the sentiment that you want? You feel what I'm saying? Because I would much rather, be the proud parent of somebody that can negotiate contracts.
Yeah.
Fuck negotiating your way out of fight. Negotiate your way into $1 million fucking commission. You feel what I'm saying?
Sir, but the $1 million already in there, and you said a perfect thing, man. And go ahead, Shell, before I get started.
No, I was just gonna say, in reference to me in closing, that I would employ anybody who has not watched the tape fully to watch it again and maybe stop the frame by frame. Because when I did it,
I'm about to indulge all the way to
tomorrow. I stopped the frame by frame. I saw a grown-ass man kicking a child on the ground before that cop had shot the chick with the knife.
Yeah. So the thing is, right, that the video never lies.
He was kicking, and he was a grown man.
I gotta watch.
So I saw that happen before the shots were fired. So all I'm saying is that when you're going to watch it, watch a couple of different versions of it. Watch it from different angles.
The thing is,
what I saw a man kicking a child on the ground before the cop had made the decision that he was going. So I guess he picked which one he was going to shoot. The question is that you ask, does it make it justifiable? The whole situation is unjustifiable.
Yeah. So
all I'm saying is that it could have just been a better way to dealing with it.
So
and even if the end result was he still was going to shoot her, he shot her to kill her. He didn't just shoot her one time. He shot her 4 times, and that's the part that I have a problem with. So it's like he just got trigger happy. He didn't just. If you had to shoot a child, could you just shoot the child one time? Maybe with one bullet wound in her chest, she might could have lived.
So Shell, so you're absolutely right? And that's the thing that's blowing people's mind, right? Because I know, and you got some knowledge, right? It's only a double tap. You know what I'm saying? Now, if you was in a military situation, it's 3, right? A double tap. You go 2 to the chest, 1 to the head, right? But 4 times in the body for you to have that sight picture like this. Bop, 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 bop.
Right.
You know all center mass. All center mass.
Right. All center mass, right?
You trained. Look, that was all emotion. That was all emotion. That was fucking rage, man.
If you had to shoot her, if you would have shot her one time, it would have subdued her, and she probably could have still survived the shot.
No, the thing is, right? This is a 60-year-old girl with a little knife
and shit. She could show off to her boyfriend when she about 35.
But she probably could have survived it.
You know what I'm saying?
They got people living with a bullet in them all the time.
Yeah, all the time.
But the thing is,
you made sure the baby was not going to get up.
Of course, because he did, and that's what the thing is, right? Because that's overkill. That's what you call that, right? And so anybody who's in the law enforcement community, right, will actually throw up if they have any moral value. This makes me sick to my stomach because I know what 4 shots is. It's
That's what I said yesterday.
You know what I'm saying?
It's amazing that we ended up talking about this again today because I got off the goddamn pod half-ass depressed yesterday.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm like this, right? I know what it is. I've been in that. And the mental thing is, it's a mental hiccup. So every 6 months, these police officers need a mental evaluation, a drug test, you know what I'm saying? A heightened awareness test, a scenario test. And once if they do anything, it needs to be by the government. The FBI need to come in and train these people. Because it's 2 separate things, right? And it's 2. So let's get rid of the metros, the sheriff, and all that, and make one unit with people that live in the community and stuff, because it's nowhere in the world. So, like you said, he should have emptied his clip on everybody in the crowd because everybody was a threat if he was feeling some kind of way. Just because he got it, when you say Blue Lives Matter, he was like, okay, I'm killing every nigga around here.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? The one that kicked, right? That steel toe boot, I know for a fact is a penal card. That's a deadly weapon. You know what I'm saying? Verbal.
I just said it just looked like he used the situation. Yes, I would say definitely yes. Help somebody that's in need of being helped. But there was so many other subplots going on in that whole scenario.
And there was other officers over there that didn't shoot nobody.
How did you pick that? How did you even pick which one you was going to defuse first?
Did you say it was other officers on the scene? Other officers on the scene. He wasn't just on the
scene. Yeah.
Okay, so he just got the car to start pop, pop, pop.
He got out the car, walked across the street, and said,
he got out the car, walked up to the situation.
See?
He wasn't that far from her when he shot her. And nor was he far from the guy that was kicking the other young lady.
Right 2 feet away.
There you go. Now see that right
so
there.
Again,
that's just like the lady with this. What I seen on the news with this guy with the traffic stop. She talking about a taser. I know for a fact. Look, dominant side, weak side. You got your pistol on your strong side. You got your taser on the weak side. So it's nowhere in the world that this dude, you know what I'm saying, is in the car.
He had specific intent to pull his service revolver.
Period.
His service weapon.
Period.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying?
Keith, he say he Lil Rondell if you didn't know who he was.
I know who that is.
Okay.
Why? Look, I ain't even looking at the fucking
chat.
I ain't even looking at the comments.
Yeah. I mean, I welcome the dialogue. I mean, this is why we got on today, and we didn't really have a particular topic today because
it was good though.
We want to interact with people and the dialogue, but we need to know too that again, like, again, like, you can have three people looking at a videotape and everybody have three different views about what's going on. So yeah, I think we need to, and that's why we can't get nowhere with the justice, because everybody is seeing it differently.
Of course.
We can't be, either it's gonna be, it was too much force, or we gonna walk the line like you doing, saying it was justified.
Nothing's
We
never
gotta pick. We
justified.
gotta pick which stance we gonna go with, and that's the one we gotta protest with.
So
I
the thing
can
is,
protest when it was justified. I could protest that he used deadly force. I could protest that there was other situations going on that he didn't try to defuse. I could protest that he killed her in the midst of a verdict and he yelled out "Blue Lives Matter."
oh yeah, see that right there.
We gotta stand on something. I can't stand on it was justified.
That's agent for the other side right there. It's like he was with the Manchurian candidate on that ass. You know what I'm saying? Y'all think y'all can celebrate all y'all want, but here goes another one. You know what I'm saying? So it's a misdirection, right? So you really have to look at the whole thing, this misdirection, this verbiage, right? Like, I'm just saying, in other people in the situation, and the supervisor's like, why the fuck did you pull your service weapon? We got two. Was the other officer in danger? Was the girl about to stab the other officer in the neck? Was she on this back fucking stabbing him in his eye or something? No. If you got other officers on the scene, they're probably like, you stupid motherfucker. And you gonna say that? All of them will fall under rape because guilty by association. So all the officers should be charged with this little girl murder. Everybody who was there. You know what I'm saying? Because they got an officer in their rank. Ain't no such thing as good cops, bad cops, nigga. It's like this, right? All y'all, like I said, you would get thrown under the bus when you speak up about some shit and become some shit that's justified. Because you know what? I would have went in the alley and I would have took my shit off and shot that motherfucker for putting me through this shit. You know what I'm saying? You'd have caught me on the motherfucking rock pile, nigga. Look, put the fucking bottle of gin on the fucking trunk of the car. Like, that was somebody's daughter, somebody's kid. You know what I'm saying? You gotta go, nigga. I got a hole for you right over here. You know what I'm saying? Not saying I don't want to get people all riled up, because this is a matter that is fucked up. And there's no justification at all, because I could go out here and justify a whole lot of shit where I could justify some shit, nigga, if I wanted to. I could just make up shit.
All I know is that you come to my property, you come on my yard, and you bullying me, and I'm not supposed to be able to defend myself, and I'm the one that called the cops. I should not be dead.
Well, how about if I don't never call the cops at all? How about that? Because I know right now in this 2021, it's a death sentence for everybody. You know, so I could have been coming to my mama's house with the groceries. You know what I'm saying? Coming to my mama's house with the groceries. Oh, you live here? Oh, you're not supposed to live here. But you know what I'm saying? I got some stuff that's still around. You know what I'm saying? It might be on my back. Oh, it was a print of a pistol. A mini AK-47. Like, no, it's actually a pistol. You know what I'm saying?
It's depressing to think of it in those terms too, because it was like we were saying the other day, or like I was saying the other day, when your kid is outside of your house, the only people that you are having full faith in taking care of your children is the fucking police.
It's not cool.
And now we have to live with the thought and the idea that we can't send our fucking kids out, because if it could be as little as a
walking home from the store, walking home from work. Mac, the thing is, right? Y'all open up, like I said, I finally start looking at these little kids because I'm out. Like, I just gotta admit, I haven't watched TV for like 4 years. I actually sat there and watched TV. I started getting depressed. I just turned it off. You know what I'm saying? Like, all this stuff that's been going on, right? All these sports people that have been making comments, Brett Favre, all this, like, and I'm like, Brett, you corporate America, you don't have nothing, just throw the football. But I'm here to tell you, as a living witness, as a vessel, right?
Tell him to shut up and pass, my nigga.
You know what I'm saying? Just keep it moving. You know what I'm saying? Don't do it. You know what I'm saying? You're not, you know what I'm saying? You're not qualified to not to say this shit, right? But I'm here to tell you, right? Right? The police, like, I'm dead ass serious, right? The police have got so good where people are in the house on the computer doing what we're doing, talking amongst each other where nobody hears us, or we rolling like that and having our own opinion, because it's scary to tell your opinion, right? But my truth is, right, it's never gonna be a person to write a ticket and say that you breaking the law. They don't even know their own penal codes when it comes up to even write the ticket.
Real talk.
You know what I'm saying? You got to get your sergeant. And look, if I say call your sergeant, you shut up and call your sergeant, the person that's qualified to do this. And he'll tell me, and he'll tell you what action you need to take. Period, right? Other than that, you got some dude that just like for a fucking paycheck and want to make it home. Period, right? So let's move away. Like these people ain't no justification on none of this police shit because they're not the letter of the law. You still got to go to court. Be judged by the jury of your peers, not this individual one motherfucker. Period. But oh yeah, even if you're gonna drive off, you're gonna find one more thing to fucking say something smart. Yeah, you're a little smart, you think you know the law, but fuck you. I'll see you next time. Now this motherfucker got locked in his head. The next confrontation, he's gonna fuck you up.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? He gonna pull you over. Oh, well, I see that the tail light, it hit your shit with a flashlight. Remember how they used to walk behind? They touch it, try to leave a fingerprint on the tail light just in case you murdered him. It's already set up a traffic stop. The car get away. That's why they touch the back of your light. You didn't know that, Shell?
I knew that.
They put their hand on your shit. They put their hand on the.
Need us to like, you know, that's what they want us to do. They want us to be compatible with each other.
But they, like I said,
we need to be able to come together and agree on issues because we can't get the things that we want to demand if we fight amongst each other.
They get mad when you don't call them.
This was never a justifiable situation to begin with. However, I just think the moral of the story needs to be that deadly force did not have to be used on the child. You know, a couple of different options if you were going to shoot her.
It's used on everybody.
I feel like the child might have lived with one. You know, it wasn't like she was a 300-pound man. You know, it wasn't like she was 6'5", 6'8", and you felt like
you put 440 pounds in it.
There was another woman next to her, so I doubt if she was gonna stab the child to death.
But the thing is, right? No, Shell. So let's clean that.
I personally don't think that she was going to kill that child. I think she might have got off. She might have got off at least a jab, but she still had to pierce through skin.
I think
she still had to pull it out. And she still would have had to jab her more time before she would have killed her.
I think
she was never going to kill her with that caliber of a knife that she looked like she had in her hand.
I think if that would have been one of us that was in that close proximity to the little girl as police,
she might would have got one off, but she wasn't going to get another one off. Yeah.
I think what your natural inclination is to do is grab the girl, grab her arm. You know what I'm saying? You don't think to fucking bust her in the head with a brick. You know what I'm saying? But again, it goes back to the way that they regard us. You know what I'm saying? It's almost, it's like you say, it's the Hunger Games. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you get a call. This is your opportunity to go see if you got an opportunity to knock somebody back.
Yeah, badge of honor. So look, the thing is, right? I know for a fact too. The hardest thing to do is to stab somebody. That's the hardest action for another human being to go knock a motherfucker out of his shoes, hit him with the knife 2 or 3 times, right? It's the hardest thing because you're going to cut your hand. You're going to do something. But this is even the hip of fact. When you hear somebody go, oh, and you feel that go in that state, you're going to look down. You're going to be misdirected. You're not just going to somebody has to be, even if they was completely out of their mind and range and stabbing somebody 100 and something thousand times, a mental breakdown, right? The first time you stab somebody, you're not going to think about taking out the knife. You're going to be like, look at it, see what you actually did. And for a 6-year-old girl, she hasn't been in war. So
trust me, yeah. It's a whole
and again, this is not justifying
a whole different feeling than what it looked like.
I don't think she was going to kill that girl.
She couldn't have killed. Look, it's possibly in her 60-year-old mind to even look. It's possible.
First poke, she'd have been scared to death.
She would have been more scared, right?
Look, the thing is, right? It's virtually impossible for a 60-year-old girl, unless she had a history of stabbing somebody in jail
or a homicidal fucking raise or some shit.
Yeah, but the thing is, right?
She'd be scared to death. She probably would have dropped the knife after she'd have felt how that shit go in the flesh.
For her to kill her,
she probably dropped the knife in the fight.
Would have to stand by and did nothing. For her to kill her, everybody there would have had to stop and do nothing, even the cops.
Yeah. That's the whole thing.
She'd have to stab her multiple times, unless, like Nick said, you got lucky and hit the girl on the the femoral artery or on your fucking what's the shit up here, Nick?
The jugular.
Jugular.
And that's hard to go to the skin on that too. You know what I'm saying?
And you got to hit that bitch just right.
Just right. Because it's going to move. You know what I'm saying? And you got to go through hair and all the rest of that stuff. Clothes. You know what I'm saying? Unless you like vampire, like,
shot, man.
You know what I'm saying? But the thing is, right? So this
it's almost like if you know about knives, you gotta know about knives for them to really be a deadly weapon like that.
There you go. So nowhere in the world, Shell. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about the certain kind of blade where you poke it where it's not gonna bleed. It's like sickles. You know what I'm saying? The shape of the blade, the hook, and what you want to do. But the thing is, right? To get somebody off here,
the ridges on the pull out, all that kind of shit, right?
Yeah. So I know
Nick, you're doing too much, Nick.
You know what I'm saying? So the thing is, right? It could never, in my mind, it can never be justified because as soon as the police show up or somebody touch it, she's gonna drop the knife. It's a stand to say, back up. I got something where you're not gonna fuck with me, and I'm tired of y'all hitting on me. You know what I'm saying? That's a stand. You know what I'm saying? Just like I said, I knew people that was, you know what I'm saying? You ain't going nowhere and grab your stuff and grab a knife and stand by the front door talk about you ain't going nowhere. But you know that little butter knife is not going to do nothing, that little steak knife. You know, you'll slash something, but I know that sucker's dog because it can't cut my steak. You know what I'm saying? If it can't cut my steak, it's not going to hit no artery where it's going to kill me. You know what I'm saying? So police guy.
And anybody watching it, we're definitely, you know, we've been into it for like an hour and 30 minutes now. We're not making light of the situation, but it's just the fact that we felt like another course of action could have been taken.
Period.
Not only that people that black people that try to find you know, some reasoning in it. And look, let me say this, right? And this is just hitting my skull. I kind of understand, you know, you trying to make sense of this scenario. But the scenarios just don't make sense.
The scenario didn't make sense.
She's dead.
And it didn't make sense for a lot of reasons. They were the aggressor. They came to the girl. The girl called the cops. So it's nowhere in the world that she should be the one that's dead.
Right.
And I get that you pulled up to the situation where you might not know who actually called that. That's not taking away from it. Again, I'm not saying I'm a cop. I know what it is to be a cop and I can walk your shoes. All I'm saying is that a 16-year-old child is dead, and it just seems like it didn't have to be excessive deadly force. Again, if you had to make the decision to shoot her, because it seems like you was close enough to where you could have actually tased this child, looking at the tape again.
Yeah.
But you didn't do that.
Yeah.
But if you were going to shoot her, you know, again, I just can't see why something could have, hell, you could have shot the car or something. Or something could have probably just made them stop what they were doing.
That's what my big homegirl just said.
So I just don't understand
if
why.
If you shot the tire, everybody would have froze. Shot in the air, anything.
I said that yesterday. It could have been warning shots in the air.
Right.
But again, if you had to make just a choice to shoot her, I just felt like there were other areas where you could have shot her, and if you were going to shoot her in the chest, I really feel like one probably could have survived. She probably could have survived that, but you didn't do that. You shot her accurately 4 times in the chest, which lets me know that you could have accurately shot her somewhere else.
Like you said, he tried to make sure that he killed the baby.
Look, so the thing is,
he just made sure she couldn't get up and she couldn't tell that story.
So the thing is, if I would have came outside with a slingshot and the ball bearing, he would have called that a deadly weapon too. You know what I'm saying? He was just there to murder somebody. You know what I'm saying? So anything could be a deadly weapon. David and Goliath, he had a leather in the rock. You know what I'm saying? So how are we going to deal with Goliath as far as these police officers killing people? So we, you know, whatever it is to make us misdirected and not look at the bigger picture and going where people say justify. It seems like that's a big word coming up, justify. But let's justify this, right? How about the police that did such a good job they're looking to kill everybody now because they don't have nothing to do. Period.
Boom. And with that, we'll end it. Man, this has been a very, very good conversation. We always, every time.
This is a developing story because I would be curious to know that what was going on. Because again, I need to know why the adult was kicking the child before the other lady had actually was going to stab the young lady. So again, I know this is a developing story. We'll be talking about this much
tomorrow. I'm watching the video, so get ready.
Exactly.
So everybody chime in tomorrow. It's on because I need to watch the rest of this video for real. And this shit, it's all new to me. So that's what happens You know what I'm saying? When I see, you know what I'm saying? So that's what happens when you in between time and in the meantime. But yeah, I need to get at this. I love you guys. You know what I'm saying? Thank you. And yeah.
All right. Again, this has been another great conversation here live in the Piranha Pond.
Oh, we need Frank too.
I want to thank all my cohorts that's been in the pond with me, the Piranhas, Miss Nick Moe, as well as my boy, Mr. Nick Nass. And we sending shouts out to the fourth member of the crew, Mr. Frankly None Flyer. I know that you are watching this and not able to comment or whatever, and shit, or you'll catch us on the replay. Just know that you are always here in our hearts and minds. I want to thank everybody that has joined us today on Facebook Live and YouTube Live as well. Watch again on the replay on both of those channels, the Piranha Pond channel on YouTube and Facebook. Like, share, subscribe, follow. And if you do any of those things already, hit the notification bell. And once again, we have been live at 5/7
Central Time.
Hey, exactly. That's the thing. And thank you, Daymar, too, man. You spun some other stuff.
Yes, thank you for your point of view. And I apologize if I was a little aggressive with it.
He wasn't aggressive. He got it up. He was thirsty. He came to get the pond water. He was thirsty, baby. So yeah.
You know they have real piranhas up in here.
He was thirsty. I like it. Keep that same energy up, baby. Keep that energy up.
We got real piranhas up in this room.
Hey, look, he already know because he fuck with me, right? You know what I'm saying? That's my little
Yeah, so
once again, I want to thank everybody for joining us live on Facebook Live and YouTube Live, and catch us again on the replay on Facebook as well as YouTube, the Piranha Pond pages. We have been live at 5/7 Central Time, and now we